Alright, it's the Master of the Smack back with another attack. Yes, Ring of the Hawk Season 6 has just started. If you missed that, don't worry, you've only missed one episode with everybody's favourite girl, Tessa Blanchard. If you're new around here, Ring of the Hawk is the show where we watch back a wrestler's short run with a company, 30 or less matches, and at the end we shove them a final grade to see if they can do the J.O.B to the H-A-W-K. But of course, if you know a wrestler who could do the J.O.B to the H-A-W-K, any night, any day, ha ha! Shove their name down in the comments, Jack! Alright, it's the Hardcore Undertaker. Was he real or was he a faker? The dead man turned heel just after the WCW Invasion angle ended in 2001 by forcing Jim Ross to kiss Vince McMahon's ass. He was beating on everybody and claiming nobody respected him. Match 1, Vengeance 2001 Hardcore title match, The Undertaker versus the champion Rob Van Dam. Not exactly a bad match to start with. Rob has held that belt for a long time at this point. 90 days was a lot of time for this title and he's at the peak of his popularity. Rob starts out frantically, but he backflips and runs into a big boot. RVD isn't a jobber though, and he gets a 2 count off a senton. He also comes close for a spinning heel kick. The speed seems too much for the Taker to stand, but no man is fast when he falls on his nutsack and Taker big boots him out of the ring. They fly into the crowd where things get even crazier. Rob hits a moonsault off a crowd barrier and the dead man responds by crushing him into a fence. The Taker tries to use a chair with Rob blocking it with the spray of an extinguisher. Rob now uses a trash can to calm the Undertaker down. He climbs into the crowd and hits a crossbody for a 2 count. The Undertaker is really struggling in this environment. Rob uses a trash can lid and hits a spinning leg drop for a 2. The dead man has to resort to using his massive meatball head to calm him down. He sends Rob into the entrance structure and thinks it's time to hit his finisher, the last ride, but Rob holds onto the structure. I'm surprised how much RVD is dominating this match. He gets yet another 2 off the Rolling Thunder on the ramp. It looks like it may actually be over after the Van Daminator, but Taker isn't a nobody. He manages to dodge Rob's next Van Daminator and he mashes Rob's brain cells with a chair. They tease Taker falling off the stage, but instead, he dodges a Van Daminator and chokeslams Rob off the stage and through a table. The Undertaker is the new Hardcore champion, and it's hard to see who could take that belt away from him. A pretty fun match, which RVD dominated. The only real negatives was that it was a bit short, and Taker didn't show much creativity. It was all Rob. Let's shove it in A though and move on. Match 2, Raw, opening match for the Hardcore title. The champion, the dead man, versus Spike Dudley. This isn't going to end well for poor Spike. He tricks Taker into leaving the ring by messing with his bike and tries to dive down on the dead man, but Taker catches him and sends him into the ring pole. In the ring now, Taker aggressively sends him into the corner upside down and Spike's in the Tree of Woe. Somehow, Spike manages to mash his nutsack to get free. The Dudley desperately hits him in the head with trash can lids, which Taker no-sells and he hits a big boot. Damn, and I felt every single one of Taker's shots with the trash lids. The Undertaker thinks about the last ride, but instead he grinds Spike's face in. Now it's time for the last ride into the trash can for the 3. Just a pretty standard squash match, and unfortunately Taker isn't done as he chokeslams Spike out of the ring and onto the floor. Brutal. Some decent character work here. Taker continues to become more and more hated with his miserable bullying character. I guess a C because this is the sort of Taker people used to be scared of. Match 3, Raw, opener, Hardcore title. The champion, The Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy. Taker backs him into a corner and screams, "Respect me, boy." Jeff looks like he's on Dream Street already. Probably dreaming about North Carolina. Taker boots him down but misses his elbow drop. Jeff turns on the speed now and he drop kicks Taker out of the ring and hits another through the ropes. This flurry of offense doesn't last though and his dive out the ring hits the crowd barrier. Taker bashes him with a chair and sends him back into the ring. The Undertaker hits the last ride and I thought Jeff was going to reverse that one, but it's over. Taker's about to get on his bike and leave, but then he notices that Lita is in the ring. He starts carrying Jeff up the ramp with Lita in tow. She watches on as Taker throws Jeff off the ramp with a last ride. Lita can take no more of this and kicks him in the nutsack as Taker's eyes almost bulge out of his head. He throws her off the stage too as the crowd dump bird turd all over the dead man. So ultimately, it was more about what happened after the match. Really great character work and he's getting his heel character over massively. Having fun with this one, it's a C. Match 4, SmackDown, Hardcore title match. The champion, The Undertaker versus Matthew Hardy, who jumps The Undertaker with a kendo stick during his entrance. Matt manages to knock The Undertaker down with a kendo stick to the throat, but none of it seems to actually be hurting him. Matt knocks him down again with a clothesline and looks for the twist of fate, which Undertaker reverses with a simple smack. Now Matt tries to dive off the apron, which is caught, and he's sent into the ring pole. Taker sends him sliding over the commentary desk like a greased up seal. The Undertaker is truly in his element now, using a steel chair. Matt goes flying over the timekeeper's table. Where do they even get tables that small? With every blow Taker lands, he yells, "You will respect me." He gets Matt back in the ring but continues to punish him with headbutts. The last ride ends the match. For some reason, Taker throws the Hardcore belt into the ring and stops his bike on the stage and sends a menacing look back at Matt, or perhaps he realises that he threw his belt away. Unfortunately for Matt, it's him he wants. He brutally decapitates Matt with the chair, and even the crowd sounds scared of The Undertaker. I'm getting serious vibes from the PS2 game SmackDown Shut Your Mouth from this whole run. Taker follows Matt out to the ambulance, muttering more threats at him. The match itself wasn't great, but it's all about the character of the American Badass, another C from the Hawk. Match 5, SmackDown Hardcore title, Tajiri vs the champion Undertaker. What is this, the damn cruiserweight title? Where's Taz? Where's Raven? Where's the Dudleys? Rhino? You know, all those sort of people who should be challenging for this belt. Tajiri starts out trying his kicks, which Taker shuts down with a simple elbow to the face. Tajiri isn't quite done though, and he hits a missile dropkick for a 2 count, somehow closer than either of the Hardy Boyz managed to come. The dead man fights off the tarantula as the fight heads out of the ring. Taker smacks him with a trash can and then does a vicious assault with a steel chair. The Buzzsaw manages to fight off the last ride, the green missed, and he throws some more kicks. He uses a trash can too, but like a dumbass he then puts it down and Taker uppercuts him. Tajiri still isn't finished though as he baseball slides a dead man, but his next dive is caught and he's sent into the ring pole. Taker gets him back in the ring and powers him into the Tree of Woe. He chokes out Tajiri whilst hitting him in the back of the head. Tori Wilson dumps in a nappy of fear. The Undertaker hits the chokeslam but breaks his own pin-up. He locks Tajiri in a vicious dragon sleeper and the ref rings the bell. You don't often see hardcore matches end in submission. Taker only releases him because the big run ender comes to Tajiri's rescue. A fine match, which was surprisingly more than I expected. It's a B. Match 6, SmackDown Hardcore title, the challenger, the big run ender versus the champion, The Undertaker. Well, is he going to end this run? Taker comically tries to drive his bike away. Have you ever seen the Big Show sprint so quickly he catches him up on the ramp, and then he smacks him back down the ramp? Show no-sells a trash can shot to the head and Taker can't no-sell his shots. The Big Show keeps going, sending him around the ring and motions for the chokeslam. Taker goes low for a reverse back elbow and out the ring we head. The Big Show misses a big boot against the ring pole and he gets his leg stuck. The dead man takes advantage by slamming the steps into his knee. He hits some chair shots and back to the ring we go. Taker hasn't done enough damage and out of nowhere the Big Show chokeslams the Undertaker. The Show's knee's hurting too badly though and he takes a while to make the pin. When he does, it's just a 2. The Big Show still has a little bit left in the tank and he smacks the steel chair with the Undertaker and he clotheslines him down. He stupidly attempts a last ride. The Undertaker smacks him in the slash zone and locks on the Dragon Sleeper from the last match to get the tap out win. Not good. I expected to see him take a bit more damage from the Big Show. It's a D. Match 7, final match, SmackDown Hardcore title. The challenger is Maven with Al Snow, with the champion the Dead Man. Now, despite how random this match might feel, it's not actually that random because Maven eliminated The Undertaker with a dropkick at the Royal Rumble 2001, and this was Undertaker's chance to get some revenge. Maven starts out with trash can lid shots which don't have enough effect, and Taker gives him a beating in the corner. The Undertaker now hits a clothesline but misses his elbow drop. Maven still can't do a thing though as Taker smacks away his trash can. Al Snow saves his student by dragging him out of the ring. It doesn't help him though and Taker continues to beat him on the outside. Back in the ring and Taker mashes Maven with a trash can. There's no hair on that head to protect those brain cells. Undertaker turns his attention to Al Snow. He throws him into the crowd and looks to finish Maven with the last ride when Al Snow returns with a ring bell shot to the gut and Maven rolls up Taker. No, just a 2. The Taker big boots Snow away again. Maven now tries to dive on him which doesn't work and the American Badass lands a chokeslam but breaks his own pin-up. Instead, he locks on the Dragon Sleeper. Surprisingly, it's not the end of the match though as The Rock interferes with a chair and he hits the rock bottom. Maven eventually drapes his arm over the Undertaker and that's the 3. Weak ending to his title reign. Game over. The Undertaker would move back up the card after this and just a few months later he'd become the WWF Undisputed Champion. It felt like this whole thing was just an excuse for the Undertaker to beat up on the cruiserweights. Taker wasn't really taking any risks here, it was all the guys he was facing. Why didn't he fight some of the actual hardcore wrestlers? Did Taker not trust them not to hurt him? What was the end goal here? Taker didn't even need that damn belt to do what he did. He could have just as easily beaten up on the cruiserweights without the belt being involved. And Maven being the one to beat him from it? There was no payoff and no big pay-per-view match after he won the belt. But he would end up having an incredible ladder match with Jeff Hardy not too long after this for the Undisputed title. A short but interesting time in the period of The Undertaker's career. I do think this time period really helped him get over as a heel, because what better way to do that than bullying people who are smaller than you? That first match really helped raise my expectations and also the credibility of the belt, but it was all downhill from there due to being no credible opponents and pretty one-sided matches. This could have been better, this could have been worse, but I don't see any country, any planet, any universe where the Undertaker going through a glass table or being set on fire actually happens. This was about as most hardcore as he'd get with the guys involved. He wasn't going to have matches like that RVD one week in and week out, so perhaps in hindsight Rob should have kept that belt. Ultimately, it was all solid enough. There was nothing offensive here. Taker started up a great heel run and Maven got something to talk about on his channel. The final grade of the hardcore Undertaker is a C, which is mostly for character work and being a scary dude, and if you don't agree with that, I'll strip your girl nude.